There we go. It's typing. Okay, it is Monday, the 29th of June. We're getting a late start because of the weather, such is life. Hopefully this thing is working. If it's not, so sue me. Okay. Do you want to... Sorry? Fire away.
You said 99 was shoulders. Well, you said 99
Okay.
was shoulders. Yeah.
We're gonna go through it because I could have made a mistake. 99 is A. No, she asked me. Okay, calm down. All right, calm down. If I made them, this is one reason why I go over it, because I go through this. I put together a key for myself because otherwise it drives me batty. So that took whatever. It's easy enough for me to make mistakes. If I made it in your favor, you don't have to call my attention to it. But if I made it not, and we owe you something, by all means.
So the sixth bone.
Yes, that's why I want to go over them one at a time, because these things, why is it that? Sorry? This is how we learn as well, yeah, okay? Now, do you want to take it one at a time? You can read the question, we'll work our way around the classroom that way. Does that work for you?
Sure.
Okay, it works for me. I want to make sure, I don't know if it works for Mama, but that's life. Okay, Diane, take question number 1.
Jim stepped off a curb when running and twisted his ankle. He suffered a sprain of his ligament.
A sprain. Now, why is it a sprain and not a strain?
Tendons.
Right, tendons. That's why I say tendons, strain. That works for me. He didn't fracture it. It would have said, it said it twisted, right? He twisted. Someone else had thought it fractured. Okay, Yannick, what should he do? Number 2, número 2. Jim should apply the first aid rule, RACE, which stands for?
Rest, ice,
It's our turn.
sorry.
That's okay. That's the way I play, okay? Get used to it. Sorry? Rest, okay. Ice, okay. Compression, right? So we wrap a bandage or something around it. And we elevate, right? So first thing, you guys should be inactive. And when can we start working on it? When could...
Everybody's different.
Yeah, really. What's the first thing we do? We put
Ice.
ice, right? Okay. And then somewhere between
48
and 72, we can start doing some subacute stage. Okay. And then we can even apply heat and then so on and so on. We need to bring blood to the area, right, which is a problem as far as ligaments are concerned. They don't have a great deal of blood supply. It takes a long time for them to heal. Okay, Jennifer, número 3.
Jim will need to use crutches for a few days. His lats will do what action? See depression transfer.
Right, because he's forced to, right, whatever, to rely upon the crutches. That sounds like a state board question, right? Depression transfer. Well, what happens with the lats? That's what, where are we? Let me look up the latissimus, because if we, here. So the action is extension.
It's like, what does it mean by transferring depression?
I think it's transferring the load from the ankle,
Like the weight?
the weight, right, onto the lats pick up a lot of the work. Why they call it depression transfer? I would call it some sort of transfer. I'm not sure why depression. Not
You're going down.
yeah, because that makes sense to me, but I don't know. Mama probably does. Okay, but I think that's more than likely you're transferring the load, right, and lowering, working the lats harder. The depression, maybe you're depressed about it. I would be. No, it's not that kind of depression. Okay, number 4, Maria. Oh, poor guy.
had a cast of his foreleg for 6 weeks. When it was removed, he noticed his leg was smaller than the other one due to atrophy. See, atrophy?
Right, atrophy, right? We all get that. If you don't use it, you lose it. Brain, muscles, you name it. Okay. Elena?
Jim wants to strengthen his leg and increase its size. Hypertrophy, he should do A, weight training.
Right, weight training will do that. Endurance training, no. Aerobic, that's in. Okay. Jen?
Has gone back to sprinting now that his leg has healed. He is very fast, probably has high ratio of fast twitch fibers in his leg.
Right, fast twitch fibers. Okay.
The study of movement is called
Kinesiology. Anything that's a study of is ology. So it wouldn't be kinesthetics or kinematics or gait analysis, ology. Okay.
The primary motor cortex has a muscular memory.
Right, primary motor cortex. Remember we did a lecture on that one night, all through the brain. Okay, and what doesn't belong down here and why? Robert, number 9.
The ball and socket.
No.
That's in your favor. Don't say a word.
Don't tell me. All right. Okay, why? My answer, well, anybody else care to? Gliding. Why not? Why does gliding not belong and the others do belong?
Because the other ones are types of joints and gliding is like a stroke.
That's interesting. Gliding is effleurage, but gliding is also a type of joint.
Oh,
But I got it.
It's non-axial. It's just, if there's no axis, it's not moving on any sort of axis, a frontal axis, it's not, there's no flexion, there's no extension or sagittal, it's not moving side to side, it's not moving transverse. A gliding joint, the facets, the gliding joint, the SC joint is gliding, I believe. It's just, it's not, there's no axis there. As I raise the scapula, and I can feel it moving. The gliding joints, the facets of the vertebrae, maybe, I'm not sure about that.
So what is it? It's the gliding because it's
Gliding because it's non-axial. The others, right, a pivot joint revolves around an axis, right? At least one axis, that's all. A hinge joint, also uniaxial, right? Ball and socket is multi-axial. The difference with gliding is there is no axis, right? We've got gliding joints in the wrist, ellipsoidal gliding, right? Okay, there's no axis that they're moving on. Wrist gets a little tricky because we have adduction, deviation. Okay, I should know. Bill, number 10.
What is the medical term for ankle talus?
Right, we all have that, right? It's the articulation between the talus and the talus being the ankle bone there and the foreleg, right? It's just curl. Okay, Ashley?
Muscle has the ability to transform chemical energy from ATP
Right.
into mechanical energy.
Adenosine triphosphate.
What does this stand for?
That's our fuel.
And when
Yeah.
and when there's no ATP, it's anaerobic, right?
Right, that's right,
ATP on that?
that's right. And it starts doing other, right. Okay. In the body, joints are, Fernando,
The body joints are fulcrums and
bones.
bones are levers.
Right, the joint's the fulcrum. Some people have that backwards. The bone's not the fulcrum. The bone is the bar, the lever. And the joint is the fulcrum. It's where it moves. Okay. 13, please.
Appropriate amounts of resting tone in muscle help stabilize our joints and maintain V posture.
Yeah, it helps you stand up. 14, Yannick. Muscle names reflect what? A, right. Number of heads, right? Biceps, triceps, generally refers to 3 heads, 2 heads. Okay.
What was the answer?
A.
A.
Head.
Heads or divisions. So there's another. That's the kind of thing you may see a synonym for the muscle belly or the head of a muscle. Right? A division. It was new to me, but many people wrote attachments. There are attachment sites, right? Origin and insertion, where a muscle attaches. But the
And that also is their name sometimes.
That's right. That's right. So that my initial answer, I will admit it. I took the test before.
What was your initial answer?
Was attachments.
Mine too.
I know. But I don't like the question. What can I tell you? Okay.
Well, the first,
Yeah, look, I see. Because I crossed it out, I had to circle the right answer. I'm not.
names.
Right. Okay. Location, right? Function, right? Where they're located. That makes sense. The function sometimes. Levator, right? It's an elevator, right? The shape, in some cases, the rhomboids, right, would be an example of the shape, right? Rhomboid, trapezius, right? Trapezoidal. What else? Direction of the fibers, sometimes, and numbers of heads or divisions. We're just going over that. This is why we're doing it. I'm taking time
And the
because
SCM is named because of the
sternocleidomastoid. I know the attachments, right? Exactly.
What is divisions? Give me an example of what are they talking about when they say divisions? I don't understand that.
They're talking about
Is that another
the
word for
separate
head?
heads. That's it. The answer, what's confusing here is that A should have been,
Yeah, because of the way it's worded.
The way it's worded, yeah.
oh yeah, it's
Or-
confusing, yeah. The numbers of heads or meaning
yeah.
another word for heads. And that's, again, not a great, I'll make a note of that. Tell her she should.
Well, really, the head is also the attachment.
It is.
Yeah, right, I know. Well, the head,
No, but that's not what the question is.
no, the head, yeah. Well, if you want to, no, I wouldn't bother, really. I got one question back. I could have argued over this one since I got it wrong, but I just thought, no, if I got it wrong, I don't want to argue with her. Okay, number 15. Where are we?
Muscles that
Okay.
need to respond quickly for short range of motion movements predominantly have to be fast twitch fibers.
Right.
They fatigue quickly.
And they're found where often?
The belly.
Yeah, the hands. You know, place you're moving. You're using a lot of small movements. Okay, and then
Wait, the kneecap is a pattern.
did anybody get that wrong? I'm going to escort you out the door if you did. Okay, and what kind of bone is it?
What do you mean, shape?
Well, it's two, right? Don't we call it? It's got two names. We definitely know it's irregular, right? But it's also isn't that our sesamoid bone? Isn't it?
I thought bones that stuck out were sesamoid bones or bones shaped like seeds.
Like a seed. I know that's a big seed, so maybe I'm wrong. Sorry. Okay. It is. Right? She did. That's why I'm saying. I don't. You know. I don't make this stuff up. I'm not always right, but I most often don't make this stuff up. Mama's always right. I'm not always right. Okay.
Even when she's wrong, she's right.
Especially when it comes to me. Hope she doesn't listen. Okay. What sort of arrangements give muscles their shape? We know they're either parallel, pennate, convergent, or circular. Fascicle arrangement. Thank you. Okay. How many joints? How many planes does a triaxial joint move in? 3. All right. Tri is 3. We could also refer them. They could also be referred as multi-axial. So be aware of that. You won't necessarily see tri. Right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Number 19. Who's up?
19 is A.
Right. Phasic. Right. Postural or phasic. Muscles that support you are postural. Muscles that move you are phasic. And
20 is B.
yep, there's your sesamoid. This is a big seed, right? I mean, I know, I think of a small.
So sesamoid bones are also found in between 2 tendons. Is that right?
I think so,
Is that right?
maybe.
And the hands.
Inside.
The hands, yeah. She said there's a lot more than we know, but I'm not sure about that.
They're in your hands. There's a lot in your hands.
Yeah.
Tiny. If you Google it, you'll find like a really good article.
17 is C. That's it.
Where are we up to? Sorry.
21.
21.
A sarcoplasmic reticulum releases calcium into the muscle fiber, which causes shortening of the
Sarcomeres, actin, myosin. God bless you. Okay, 22. Who's up? Just keep on going around. I've lost track.
Just people just start talking.
Or just,
Calcitonin and parathyroid hormone are involved in bone remodeling.
right, parathyroid. Okay. Bone remodeling. What is bone remodeling? Don't just know what's involved. What is it?
Broken bone healing.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Also,
Or when they
if you
grow.
need, sorry?
When they grow.
When they grow, right. You need calcium in the bone, you need calcium in the blood, so it's going to build, it'll take from wherever it's needed, right? Remodeling is constantly going on as we're growing. Okay. Okay, next, 23.
Third class levers in the body create the greatest range
Yes,
of motion.
true, absolutely true. Okay. And what holds oxygen in the muscle and makes it red? Myo meaning muscle, right? Okay, landmarks on bones that form shallow depressions are fossas. Good.
And
Bone.
foramens,
Okay.
I got confused with this one. I knew.
Okay, sure.
Like, because I know foramens is something else.
Foramen is a hole.
Okay.
Okay. Now, not a meatus. That's also a type of hole, but foramen is a hole through which
So
you have the
foramen is a hole, and
through which
fossa is
something
a
passes,
depression,
right.
Which means like a little dip.
shallow, right? So you think of the sorry. Yeah, that often, of course, these are places that muscles attach to. The infraspinous fossa, right? A meatus is a hole also, yes. It's a hole. Is it a hole that something passes through other than air? I'm not, because we've got meatus, nostrils, ear canal. I don't know if, yeah, yeah, that's right, there is a, right? But generally speaking, when I think a foramen, something's passing through it, right? Nerves, brain stem, right? Down the spinal cord. That's the difference. Okay. Bone tissue is either dense or cancellous, which does not belong. Well, this is a little tricky. These not belong questions. Okay. Transverse abdominis. Why?
Because she said so.
Yeah, but why? Really?
Oh, I don't know why.
Why
Okay.
really?
Let's go to the.
All
She
are
said the other ones moved the trunk, and that one really just
That
kind
one
of
was like
holds
a
things
girdle.
That one's holding everything together. It's a girdle.
The girdle, that's
Yeah. The others, doesn't matter the movements, their rotation, flexion, whatever, they're not, the transverse is holding in,
it's not responsible for a movement.
exactly, exactly.
The others are.
So, okay. Okay, I'm moving right along.
What questions are on the state board, like that style? Like this is not.
I
It's
don't,
supposed to be all, well, maybe.
you'll see a lot of case studies, so a series of questions like with the guy on the crutches. Yeah, that's why I want you to think and know other terms for the same.
One of the chapters that you should really know is chapter 16, the first book that we had.
Which book?
Fundamentals.
Fundamentals? And what is 16?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's this one.
16, it's one of the last chapters.
Yeah, this is our text, right? Or one of the texts. This and the.
I'd like to think that's it.
What's that? Oh, we did lend out a couple of trail guides right over the weekend. Please make sure you return them. I don't remember to whom. Please.
I think she's not here. Who you lent it to?
Selena or
No, the other Stephanie.
Stephanie. One. Yeah, I think it was Stephanie. So we're missing Selena, Stephanie, and Natalie. All right. They want their papers back? They'll have to give me the box. Okay. Muscles are
Which does not belong. So the answer is
transverse abdominis. It's really holding your abdominal organs in place. It's protective. Remember, that's one aspect. Well, we'll get to that of muscles. And our muscles organs?
Yes.
You're darn right. Better believe it. We deal with the muscular system. What's it made up of? Muscles. Muscles are made up of different types of tissues and so on and so forth. Okay. Oxygen debt is What are we? A. We're dealing with lactic acid, okay? We don't tell people drink lots of water to flush out your toxins. We don't do that anymore. That's old school. But still. But if you've got a burning sensation, if you're exercising and you suddenly feel a burning sensation or you start cramping up, it may be a buildup of lactic acid that you're just not getting through. You also may be dehydrated because of your exercise and so on and so forth. Okay, make sense?
Or when you just take lots of slow, deep breaths.
That's right. You've got to get oxygen to the muscles. Get blood, oxygen. Blood's going to remove some of the lactic acid. That's one aspect of circulatory massage. Okay, the cartilage that covers the end.
Articular.
It's articular, right. What? Joints are articulations. Okay, and another, which muscle does not belong? Oh my. What do you say, folks? Erector spinae. Why?
Well, actually, that was kind of tricky. I
Yes.
had a line on it, and I just guessed.
I just guessed too.
Because the transverse
I got it right.
is the same as the rectus spinae, I thought. Or right there.
No, the difference is, I looked it up, hang on a sec.
Right, but they're in the same grouping of kind of muscles, just like the external and internal obliques.
Mm-hmm.
They kind of go together.
But is it the direction of
The transversal spinalis is doing some rotation. It does have rotation. So I think that's...
So the rest of them rotate?
Yeah, the others, the erector spinae is they're extensors, right? Yep. They're not rotating. Okay, where are we? Sorry. Bursa, right.
Bursa are made of synovial membranes filled with
Synovial.
Synovial, not serous fluid. That's a tricky one. That'll trip you up, right? So that's false. Okay, joint between clavicle and the sternum is
A and B.
A and B.
What if you put
Right?
sternoclavicular? Just put A.
Well, but that's also the S. That's the whole idea. They want you to recognize. Yeah, right. Half a point. Sorry. So it's A and B. Now, it is the articulation is between the clavicle and the manubrium, right, of the sternum, I believe, right? But it's not called the I've never heard it called the manubrioclavicular joint. So the answer is D. Pivot joints move in what plane? Transverse. They're moving side to side through this horizontal plane, right? Okay. In which cavity do we find the diaphysis of a long bone? Or what is a cavity in the diaphysis? The medullary cavity, right? Okay.
Trabeculi can be found in what type of bone tissue?
Cancel it. And where is that? Is that found in the diaphysis, or is it found? Where is it found? What type of bone tissue? It's found in spongy bone, which is at the ends, right, of the. Yeah, in that. Let's see. I don't have her diagram somewhere. Yep. So we're taking our sweet time with this, but I think that was a good idea. Oh, I don't know where it is.
Because it's where the epithelial plate.
It's the epithelial. No.
It's around the epithelial plate.
Spongy bone is.
Where's the diagram? You have the diagram? I'm trying to find the diagram.
Makes sense to make this one evolve.
Yeah, if you look for the epithelial
Here we go. Okay. See, it's
Right here. See,
Right.
the whole thing says compact bone, right here.
right.
The
I
whole
know.
thing.
So, right. So
Spongy bone's at
and the
the
spongy
head
bone
of it.
is more
At the head of the.
in the head,
Okay, but
right?
if you look
the
at this
ends.
part of it,
I
it
know.
says the spongy bone is inside the whole compact bone thing, which is
the
where
compact,
this thing is.
right? But not in the diaphysis, which is hollow.
But it doesn't talk about the diaphysis.
I know.
It doesn't say that.
No,
just
it doesn't.
says what part of the bone, and if you look at this picture, it says the whole thing is compact.
So trabeculae can be found
Yeah.
in different types of bones.
And I think that's referring to the outside of the bone, the inside of the bone, like so.
Yeah. I believe so, because the outside is dense and the inner
Well, I
section.
understood that question, but
But I did not, this is the picture I had in my head, with this.
Yeah, right, I understand. I
So
understand.
anyway, but it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't. I hope not. Okay. And bones on the roof of your mouth are, that we're up to, right? Palatine or palatin, right? That's the palate.
I'm pretty good guessing.
Balance and coordinated movement is controlled in the
Cerebellum, right? We don't have to think about it. Okay.
God.
Yes. Yeah, right. Joints are classified according to their structure into 3 categories. Fibrous, this is structure, that's the key word. Right? Fibrous, cartilaginous, and synovial, right?
Aren't synarthrotic?
Synarthrotic sounds like synovial, and let's nip that in the bud because a number of you have confused that. Syn means none, without, okay? Without movement. It's not without sin, that's a different kind of sin. S-Y-N means without, there is no movement. But that would be a functional, not structural, right?
Okay,
so we'd say, so a synarthrotic joint might be fibrous, right? There's no movement. That's where you got your sutures. That's a fibrous joint, right? So the structure is fibrous. The function is the synarthrotic. And in this case, in any case, the structure would be fibrous, cartilaginous, and synovial. Okay, functional unit of the bone is the osteon. Okay, it used to be called the Haversian canals. You may see that as well, right? Remember that? Yes? I didn't make that up. It's, you know, the memories go way back when I first started studying, and I guess teaching it enough that most of it makes sense to me by now. Pec major and teres minor work along with what?
The lats.
The lats, right? Okay. Pec major and teres major. What releases calcium from bone into the bloodstream? Osteoclasts, right? Right? Blasts build B for B. That's how I remember it. Clasts crush? I don't know. Okay. MSC, muscle spindle cells, nerve receptors that pick up information from interfusional muscle fibers, aka the alpha motor system. Is that in fact, with such a statement, how could it be anything but true? Okay. And what, here's another one, which doesn't belong? Right, why?
It's all the way down.
I made a mistake here, right?
Right, it's appendicular, not axial. The others are axial, okay? Right, cranial, right, facial, cervical are axial.
I had to look that up when I was studying for appendicular.
Uh-huh.
I thought appendicular was only it's not, it's the pelvic girdle.
And the scapula and the clavicle. So because the clavicle and the scapula move together as one. One will not move without the other. Okay. Disc between the bodies of vertebrae form. Right, partially movable, amphiarthrotic, not synarthrotic. AMPHY, yeah, there's missing something. AMPHI, amphi, right. Right, yeah. Well, okay.
And it's spelled like that throughout.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably somebody did
It should have an I in there, though.
Yeah, I don't know. The test just appeared to me on computer. No, I don't. So it's probably a spell check that just has gone rogue on us. 4 characters of muscle tissue are contractility, extensibility, excitability, and elasticity. Right? Okay, the coracoid process. A lot of people think it's the scapula. It's just a simple bone. Let's see if I get a picture of a... I'm walking around. Let's see. You should find it somewhere
I was looking for it.
in here. Do you folks know what it looks like? A little bird's beak. It's toward the anterior aspect of the scapula. It's one book or another. All right, normal resting length means what are at optimal length to develop maximum force? This is number 48. Sarcomeres. Did I miss one? Sorry.
Did we do 47?
Yeah, you didn't.
Yeah, scapula.
Oh.
The birds, that funny, right, there are attachments, muscle attachments, okay, for the arm. Dense, regular connective tissue that forms tendons and ligaments resist force in one direction. Yes, of course, anything, tendons, ligaments, it's one direction, it's pulling. What muscle originates from the external occipital protuberance all the way down to T12? The trapezius, right. Okay, and here's another one, sarcomeric answer, right? The sarcomere is the functional unit of muscle. We have that, and that's been repeated all over the place. Okay. One nerve in all the muscle fibers it innervates is called a motor unit. This is, a lot of people missed number 53. Secondary respiratory muscles that expand the rib cage, pull it down and out, right? So the main respiratory muscle, of course, we know is the what?
Serratus posterior.
Yeah, but the main, this is a secondary. Serratus posterior is a secondary.
Oh, I thought
right?
you were asking for the actual.
Okay, so we know that the serratus posterior has two parts to it, right? This is a secondary respiratory muscle. I didn't mean to bounce around there. So what are the parts? Are they
Superior and inferior.
superior and inferior? And again, your main, they help with when you're exercising or you've got a serious expansion of the rib cage. Your major respiratory muscle is called what? Anybody?
The diaphragm?
The diaphragm, right. Right. Pulls, diaphragm goes down, rib cage, there's air pressure enables the lungs to fill up as the rib cage expands. Okay.
So that would be considered, so that would be that, and then secondary would be...
Secondary are ones that help, right. So your secondary muscle respiration, in addition to, what did we say, the scalenes, I think, are gasping muscles, right? So, but generally for forced inhalation, right? So if you're exercising, you're running, you're biking, you're using your serratus posterior, superior and inferior, okay?
Yeah.
So one, I think, one is going to, for inhalation, one is for exhalation. Right. Makes sense?
Cool.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pulley system.
Yeah. All right, thoracolumbar aponeurosis forms a strong base of support for the erector spinae and the latissimus, right? It's the base, okay? And the erector spinae forms the bulk, rounded bulk on either side of your spine. Yes, we got to know that by now. We're working a lot on it, right? Epi, peri, and endo are what? They're prefixes, right? Right? Epimecium, endomecium, perimecium, right? Okay.
The greatest expander of the femur is a process.
It's a process, right? It's not a head.
The next one is another escort you out the door one.
Yeah, right. Okay, anybody doesn't get number 58 can leave now. I won't have to escort you. Huh?
I thought it was a trick back.
Yeah, right. Yeah, process, right? And so something that's a process would fit into a fossa, right? The olecranon process of the ulna, for example, right? Right, the bone at the top of the ulna fits into the olecranon fossa of the humerus. Okay? Okay, oops. Okay, whoops, number 59.
Oh, that's the name of the
Foreleg, AK, right?
Wow, that
Okay,
was-
as opposed to the
that's
thigh.
all
That's a
three of us. We
toughie.
were
Don't expect these easy ones like that on the stage. But I guess we need to know. Yeah, girl, foreleg. Okay, what doesn't belong once again?
Mandible.
Right. What are the three bones called? What are they? The what's the ossicles? The who? What did someone say? Ossicles. Ossicles. That's close enough.
Merry Christmas.
Ossicles. Not icicles. Ossicles. Maybe icicles in the winter. The most superficial anterolateral abdominal muscle is the external oblique. How many facial bones are there? 14. Do you know what they are? Well, let's not go there. We should. At some point, you may have to. SCM is named, yes. This is, yeah, that's so. Okay, neuromuscular junctions have synaptic clefts, motor end plates, synaptic knobs, and? Right. The neurotransmitters are the things that travel across the cleft, right? From the knob to the motor end plate or back and forth. Ceps refers to cephalic, the head, okay? Strength training will do what with the number of sarcomeres? Increase them, right? Bulking up. Nuchae, not muchae, N-U-C-H-A-E, ligamentum nuchae. Okay, and which doesn't belong once again? Pisiform, hamate, scaphoid, or navicular?
Navicular.
Why?
The rest are in the hand.
Right, so the rest are carpals, and the navicular is a tarsal. That's a kind of question you might, maybe. Skeletal muscle, fascicle arrangement that grows in an oblique direction to the tendon is called a, and she gives it away by saying feather. Right.
Yeah, she does, yeah. That's like the pec major. Oh no, that's convergent.
Right, okay, but you got it.
I
Somewhere.
fixed it.
Yeah, right. Okay, what part of the nervous system does somatic control skeletal muscle? Okay.
Really?
Okay, muscle fiber function is classified as fast twitch, slow twitch, and in-between twitch, intermediate, right? There's no fixed twitch. It wouldn't twitch if it were fixed. Okay, uniaxial, biaxial, and triaxial are all,
Diarthrotic
right,
bones.
not synarthrotic, diarthrotic, okay? Okay, nerves are formed from dendrites and axons, yes? Okay, also, by the way, cell bodies. No, I looked at that and said, well, yeah, but what about cell bodies? I said, okay, I'll give you true. And they are.
Number 73.
Sure.
What, I'm getting confused about diarthrotic and synarthrotic and
Okay. Diarthrotic is fully movable, right? So these are our functions, not our structure, right? The function is diarthrotic, meaning it's fully movable, right? And it'll also be synovial. That's the structure, okay? Synarthrotic, the function is there is no movement for all intents and purposes. So there you're talking about gomposis, right? The teeth.
Well, there's kind of movement, but
Well, I know the craniosacral people, and I agree with them, will tell you that there's a very little bit of movement, but you know that you can make adjustments in the adhesions or the.
And the other one is just, is that just in one direction?
That's partially
Like the
movable.
ones they have.
What's that? Amphiarthrotic means partially movable, right? Well, okay, symphysis pubis, right? It's a cartilaginous joint, right? That's the structure. The function is it's amphiarthrotic, okay? The discs between the vertebrae, right? The intervertebral discs are these cartilaginous discs. Partially movable. They've got to be movable, you know, and of course if they move too much in the wrong direction, we've got problems, right? Okay, right? We have, what do we call it, a slip disc or a subluxation. Okay.
Which does not
Where are we up to?
Oh, sorry.
Which-
Which does not belong, 74.
Right.
73.
73 he said is true.
Yeah, 73 is true, even though my point was, well, it also includes, you know, they're formed from dendrites, axons, and which would be nowhere without the cell body, but I guess it's true. Okay, so which does not belong in 74?
The saddle.
The saddle. Why? Once again,
it's in the hand, not in the foot.
Right, exactly. And there's only, right, it's only found here. Right? Upper extremity location. That's what it is. It's location, location. She likes those. Okay, what means wrist? Carpi. Okay, types of muscle contraction include. That's the key word there for me.
Yeah, I got that wrong.
Yeah, so did I. So did I. And I told her that. You know.
It's isometric.
It's isometric, right?
But it's also there's
Isotonic and oh,
yeah,
it is isotonic.
right. You can have isotonic contraction without changing the length. The muscle will still contract.
But if there's a fourth one, it's isometric.
Isometric, right? There's
Right.
I was going to say
Eccentric,
eccentric,
concentric,
isometric and isotonic. So those are the four. But and again, she said include, right? So
I got that wrong.
it's a little tricky. So did I. So did I. Okay, which is not. Here's another one, which is not. I think we went over this, but which is not a function of the muscular system.
framework.
Framework. The bones create the framework. The muscles hang on them, right? So
Exactly opposite.
they produce movement.
In the study guide, it has the opposite. Because-
Really?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Actually, when we were
She
reviewing,
told us that.
She told it was protect soft tissue.
no, I remember her saying that the one thing the muscles do not do is create framework. That's what the bones do.
Right.
It says that.
I remember her saying.
And
But isn't that what?
if you think soft, what are the
And I
trend?
said that to her.
Thing about Joe.
And I said that to her, but wait a minute. That's the whole.
She's like, yes,
And
absolutely.
when she said that,
Is
I
that
didn't
right?
say
Oh,
it, except for according to Joe.
Job is not a textbook, folks.
But the word
It's wonderful.
tensegrity refers
Tensegrity,
to
yeah. Go ahead.
creating
So
a
what is the
framework.
right answer?
And that's
Right.
what the muscles
But it's the
do.
framework. No, that's what the muscles do with the bones, as I see it. It's fulcrums and levers. Yeah. According to Job, it may be, but her answer
I
is.
would have never done that unless she said it when we were downstairs. And she said that.
Well, okay, time out. Shh. Do muscles protect soft tissue? Transverse abdominis, right? They're protecting, the abdominal muscles are very many ways protecting the abdominal organs, right? So they are protective, right?
That's another reason why it's tricky, because we know the bones.
We know they produce movement,
But it's what was in the study guide that why it screwed me up.
and they maintain posture.
We went over the
So-
study guide and we agreed on protect soft tissue,
That's
so
right.
that's what I
Yeah, I don't
put.
think they protect soft tissue, I think they stabilize.
No, they protect.
Because the aponeurosis is what protects it.
And muscles are also covering especially the abdominal. That's where I think of the softest tissue. But
That's the aponeurosis.
yeah,
You
yeah.
have false information.
Whereas the muscles are there to.
I remember her saying it was
To stabilize, to produce movement, to maintain posture, but not to create a framework.
What number is
Told
that?
us to protect soft tissue.
What number is that?
Next number 5.
Take it up with the boss. Okay.
Right.
What number?
That's what I studied.
The flexor retinaculum ligament forms what of the wrist?
The carpal tunnel.
The carpal tunnel.
So why is mine
Yeah, that,
wrong?
so me and you
Because
heard
I made a
right.
mistake. If I make a mistake, relax. Yeah, right. Don't, if you have it marked right now, in some cases, if some people didn't answer a question, they don't get credit. It happens. Go over your number of people just didn't answer, left a few blank.
And I answered them and then never had the question.
What's that?
I answered them and then
And then you read the question. No, you can keep it. Unless she tells me otherwise, but I believe that you've kept your past exams, right?
I don't even remember.
I've recorded the grades. So hang on to them. If she wants them back, she'll let you know. Yeah, right. As far as I'm concerned, these are what you use to study from. Okay, what is a type of muscle tissue? All of the above. Skeletal, cardiac, and visceral. 3 types. There are only 3 types of muscle tissue. Okay, well, we could argue, we could describe them differently. They're striated, right? So what types of muscle tissue are striated?
What types are striated?
So skeletal muscles are striated.
and cardiac.
And cardiac, not as much, the striations, but they're there, okay? But the difference, of course, is that do we have any voluntary control over the cardiac muscle? Not unless you're a high-class yogi, no. And I'm certainly not a high-class. You could slow it down, right? You could slow your heart rate down by breathing, right? So to a certain extent you have control, but not... Anyway, and visceral muscle tissue is smooth, right? The so the blood vessels, right? Okay, where are we? So,
Muscles are the interface between the physical body and the energy.
right, muscles, right? Not bones. That's an interesting statement, but I guess it's true. I don't know where that came from, but
Job's probably.
yeah, Job's. You know, it's cool. Makes sense. Okay, the energy body, the physical body. You know, there'll be people out there who tell you there's no such thing as the energy body, but we know better. Right? We should. Okay.
What number are we on?
Number 80. 81.
Okay.
The pec major is a convergent type of muscle.
Convergent, right.
Okay, can you give me another example of a convergent muscle? Because I didn't understand that.
I'd have to look it up.
Other than I just know
Yeah.
major is a convergent muscle.
Yeah, right. That's right. We'd have to look up what does it mean if it's converging from two different
I think
directions.
it's coming from, yeah, they're different directions.
Different directions,
Different
because the pec major has two. There's a clavicular, there's a rib, there's a sternal attachments, right? Sorry. So they're converging maybe from different directions. That's the only thing that occurs to me. You'll have to look it up.
I did try to look it up.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I've been
I looked it up in the dictionary what it meant.
a medical dictionary.
Not a medical dictionary.
Yeah,
but I
that's what we need to do. Yeah.
No, I just looked it up in the regular dictionary. I didn't understand. It didn't relate to exercise or this.
Right. No. That's a we. Yeah. I'll look it up.
Anyway.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's okay. What joint of the thumb is classified as a CMC?
Saddle.
Right. And what does CMC mean?
Carpal metacarpal.
Right. Carpal. Right. Metacarpal. So the saddle joint of the thumb is where? Where is it located? Point to your thumb saddle joint, folks. Where is it located?
What's that?
Point to your thumb saddle joint. It's here between the carpal and the metacarpal, right? It's not the first.
So it's in here?
Right, it's up here, right? It's at the, right, the carpal and the metacarpal. That's what enables that movement, not, because the thumb itself, when you're down here to the phalanges, you have flexion, extension, right? And, okay. What else? Another one, oh Lord, okay.
What is it?
Teres major.
Teres major. Why does teres major not belong? Right. So what is the which is the T? Right. We have S-I-S. What's the T? Teres minor. Yeah, that tripped me up. I said, whoops, I missed the minor.
Oh,
right.
the rest are rotator cuff?
They're right. The others. And it was worded so that we think, oh yeah, they're all rotator cuffs, so what's missing? What's wrong? What I thought was, okay, subscapularis is anterior. That's one way to see a difference.
That's what the question is, what she's asking is.
Yeah, because teres major is definitely, the other three are sits muscles. Sits meaning the scapular stabilizer muscles, right? The rotator cuff muscles, I mean, not, because there are quite a few more scapular stabilizer muscles. But the rotator cuff muscles are the sits muscles, S-I-T-S muscles, not the sits bones.
S-I-T-S, yeah.
Okay. Supraspinatus, infraspinatus,
gotcha, never mind.
teres minor, and subscapularis.
Gotcha.
But the key there, of course, is not teres major, teres minor. So that's why teres major does not belong. A little tricky. You got to think that one through.
I mean, not stupid, but.
Well, no, but you need to know you got to know your sits muscles. You should know where they are, where they're originating, and what their origin and insertion and their actions are. Okay, muscle fiber is made up of myoblasts is what I have. Is that right? Yeah.
Filaments that join together.
Let's see, 84. Hang on. Because I'm taking this from her. A. The answer is A. It's myoblasts. Yeah. I thought it was myofilaments, but I looked it up and she's right. Okay, we all know the hip hiker is another name for the quadratus lumborum, right? The QL. Once again, what doesn't belong and why? Right.
Three other muscles in the neck.
In the neck, yeah.
Exactly. Okay. Two hormones. I think we had that in another version, another question.
Yes,
Right. So it was already given to us. Another what again doesn't belong and why? Sternoclavicular, right?
SC.
Right, the SC joint.
SC.
Okay. So why doesn't the SC joint?
Or it's C, both. No. Sternoclavicular or SC.
And the other three are all where?
In the cervical vertebrae,
Right, they're cervical vertebrae. They're in their vertebral, so they.
This was like they're all up there and that thing's down there.
They're all axial. They're,
how scientific.
the SC joint is the only joint in the body that that is where you've got your articulation between the appendicular and the axial, right? Think about that, because remember, the clavicle and the scapula are part of the appendicular skeleton. So the only true attachment is that joint, that right there. When you raise, lower, do all this stuff, the scapula and the clavicle are moving together, and this is the connection with the sternum.
And if they're so involved in moving these extremities, that's why they're part of appendicular.
Yes, yeah, that's why they're called the scapular girdle.
So the scapula and the clavicle are part of.
The appendicular, yes. Yeah. Tricky, but that's, you gotta know. Okay.
89, you gasped this muscle.
I think it might be
Yeah, right. The answer is D. I don't know what happened to D. It was kind of curious. It was out there somewhere, just flew off the face of the earth. So you gasped and say, oh, where'd D go? And you used your scalenes. Okay? Okay.
Erectus spinae and
Transverso spinalis
spinalis are also known as the paraspinal.
Right, those are the paraspinal group. Right?
D.
What's that?
No, that's
Okay. Vertebrae are classified. This one I took back. If you got this wrong, I gave it to you anyway. I told her that it was number 91 was worded incorrectly. Because vertebrae are classified, if vertebrae are in fact irregular bones, that's a structural classification. The function of bones is not irregularness, right?
Those don't go together.
But I think, isn't that exactly how it's written in the study guide?
Maybe, but yeah, I told her, yeah, so she agreed that she needs to rewrite that question. So if you got that wrong, in the beginning I went back and I realized this, I don't like this, and I added a point or two for those I had already graded, and others, if you got it wrong by the time I got there, you were okay. Okay? Okay, muscle is in italics. It is a synergist. It's a helper, right? That's a synergist work together, right? Okay, skeletal muscle tissue has
Satellite cells.
Right, they're floating around there in space. Satellite cells. Splenius capitis, splenius muscle group, wraps around other neck muscles, and it means?
Bandage.
Yeah, it's Latin for bandage. Very true.
Transversospinal spinal muscle group actions are
Extension and rotation, right? That's where they have a similar action to the abdominal exterior and whatever. What's the two abdominals, not the transverse. That was another question that related to
The erector spinalis?
the transverso spinalis being a rotator, because as the abdominal, the obliques, right? Internal and external obliques are also rotators. That was the key there. Okay, 96, a child suffered from a fracture. So what happens if the bone, will it or will it not grow in length if there's no blood supply?
It will not.
It can't. There's no blood supply. Nothing's happening. The bone, the bone will die or it'll stop growing. 96, right? No membrane. Without a membrane, it's going to lose the strength. There will be no more growth. I don't know. Ooh. Okay. I'm not quite, it's interesting. Well, because my daughter, who's a gymnast, or was a gymnast, competitive gymnast, had some experience with the epiphyseal plate in her left ankle, I think, and they actually went in and they deliberately fractured it, right? They put hairline fractures in it to get it to heal, to bring blood supply into it, because there were some problems with it. So I'm not sure.
I think it has to have both. It has to have blood supply
and the membrane, right? That's why they put in the microfractures, I guess, in her case. Okay, and a spiral fracture. Yes, my friends, it is common in sports. Just think of the spiral. I think she gave that to us in the study guide. I looked it up as well, because I wasn't sure. Blood cells are produced where?
Yeah. Yeah, where? I got that one.
Okay, the medullary cavity produces yellow bone marrow. Blood cells are produced in the red marrow, which is found in that cancellous, spongy, trabecular-esque bone. Okay?
Well, that was when I first read the question, I was like, it's in the cancellous bone. But then I'm like, but wait a minute, the cancellous bone, doesn't it have the medullary cavity?
No, the medullary cavity is the cavity in the diaphysis, that hollow area that's where you've got the yellow marrow.
I thought that's for the bone marrow.
Right.
There are two types of bone marrow. There's red and there's yellow.
No, but I thought both of them were in there. Where's the red one?
The red,
Inside the middle of the bone. Where is it?
it's more toward the ends of the bone.
So it's in the cancellous bone?
It's in the cancellous bone. That's where you'll find red marrow. Red marrow is responsible for red blood cell formation.
So long bones isn't the long bone a cancellous bone?
No, it's where the cancellous area is in the long bone.
Okay.
Now, if I recall correctly, a lot of the red blood cells are created in.
But it doesn't say red blood cells. It just says blood cells.
It just says blood cells. Well, I don't know. Where are white blood cells created? Good question. May need to. Yeah, this is getting. All right. Yeah. Well, the question should be more specific. Yeah.
I think we should get a point for medullary.
No, because there's no blood. Now, unless white blood cells, maybe if white blood cells are manufactured in there, then you could get a point. If you want to look it up, do the research, go right ahead. Okay? And then bring it up with me, and if we can argue it, I will be more than happy to argue in your favor. Okay, SITS muscles are, what are they? Stabilizers of the shoulder. Right. Okay. They're the shoulder rotator cuff muscles, not the SITS bones, right? Okay.
Ew, I was just like,
And finally, the
Process on the temporal bone that is attachment site for several muscles, including the SCF, is the mastoid.
The mastoid, right, has to be. Okay, and finally, the bonus, I'll read them down, okay?
Which is the process of the temporal bone is which one?
The mastoid process.
The mastoid.
Yeah, the SCM, right there.
Oh,
Okay.
that's what it's
Right behind the ear, there's your mastoid process. And you can feel the attachments when you... Okay, the bonus. Ball and socket is, of course, J, the hip and shoulder. Thoracic vertebrae would be... There are 12 of them. Yeah, I thought, what? And then I realized, oh, there's a number 12. Okay. And rectus abdominis would be...
Sit-ups and leg
Right, that's what we do with them. Okay, what's the linea alba?
White line.
A white line. That's exactly what it is. Okay, serratus anterior.
Stabilizes the scapula.
Right, it's your anterior boxer's
what's
muscle.
number 3?
I'm sorry, F. F, the first sit-ups. You're crunching.
5 is what?
Serratus anterior, A. It's a anterior scapula stabilizer. Also, that's what boxers are using. Okay. Trapezium.
First metacarpal bone's B, salad.
Right, that's your saddle joint, right? I guess it's yeah, that's right, because it's that articulation here between the trapezium and the first metacarpal. We know first, second, third, fourth, fifth, right? We're going from thumb side, right? Just as this is the first phalange, second, third, fourth, fifth phalange. Pinky is the fifth phalange, right? Am I going too fast when I? No. Okay.
Glenooccipital is what makes you nod your head.
Nod your head.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. And thoracolumbar aponeurosis. That's what supports the base of the erector spinae and the lats. The base, right? Not the quadratus lumborum. Okay, let's see, what else? Fascicles run down and in what muscle? External oblique. And finally, upper and lower extremities are the appendicular. Okay, all right, any changes I need to make, tell me and I will do that. Right? Two! Oh my goodness. Okay, what did I miss?
78. I got it right, but you said.
And I marked it wrong. Yeah, sorry about that. Okay.
And I circled it. I got 100.
Sorry. Okay. So it's two more. That's it.
It's still 8.
Right?
It doesn't really matter.
So it's 13, right? Oh, so you figured it. Okay, 15.
Yeah.
92. Let me change it here. Okay. 92. Okay, anybody else? Fixes, changes, adjustments? All right, let's take a short break. We've been going for an hour. This is what I figured we would do, only I thought I'd start at 6. Not in this weather. So, let's see, Stephanie hasn't made it, and Natalie didn't make it. Huh? I know, she's still in traffic?
Stuck behind an accident.
Yeah, well, clearly she must be.
She probably got fed up and went home. I was did. Again, it's a hurricane? No, it's not like that. It was bad. No, it was really bad. My little car was going.
Yeah, it was pretty serious out there. But do you get texts when there's no school, when school is closed for anything? Are you folks informed? Yeah. Yeah, you get a phone call as well as a text, right? So I don't have to let you know if I've been told, right? I know. Yeah. Okay.
At South Campus.
Yes, it's all.
Do we keep this?
Yeah, you keep it.
Yeah, right.
Ready?
I did that.
Unless I haven't heard otherwise, you use it to study from,
That would make sense.
right?
Well,
You don't recall whether or not she...
I don't think we kept the midterms and the finals last
No, we
term.
didn't.
All right, I will ask her.
We only kept the study guide.
Yeah, the study guide, yeah.
We never keep the
So we can
tests.
study then.
All right, well, I'll hang on. I'll have to ask.
well, don't ask.
Don't ask.
No,
Yeah, but she'll be
and
upset
then-
if we
No,
have them.
but
She doesn't
then-
want
no,
them.
she's not going to be happy.
Then what we do
I
is we
took
take
pictures.
pictures of everything.
Yeah,
Hurry up, hurry up.
Wow, really?
but we don't have pictures of
She's
the
not gonna
other
let us
tests,
take it
so-
because you know what? I tried to take my other one and she wouldn't let me.
Why? They're study helpers.
I know.
I would say, do I collect?
Yeah, but then if she
Why do you have to ask?
doesn't modify the test for another
Group
group,
of people, like we're gonna know the
Yeah.
other group.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, right. That was my feeling. And you change, these things change, but if she wants them back, I got to take them back. I collect.
In the school system,
I think so too.
I
I
don't
don't
give
remember
that kind of test.
I mean, we have our study guide, which is kind of the same thing.
No, it's not.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's not.
It's really not because of the way things are worded and everything else. It's fine. Type them up myself.
We're destined to fail.
I'm starving. I'm gonna eat something.
Take a break.
No, I'm gonna go get something. Yes.
Are you? I'm going with you.
Well, I gotta finish taking pictures of all this crap. Hold on. It's okay if you want me to send it to you. Just do it.
All right.
Yummy, that's what I'm going for.
It's the yogurt one though.
I don't care. I pretty much will eat anything. I used to say, I'll put anything in my mouth. I don't say that anymore. I just say, I'll eat anything. Because when you say that, it just doesn't sound right. I'll put anything in my mouth. You have the Galaxy 6, right?
No, the iPhone 6
I
Plus.
got a gnarly big toe here for you now. That's okay.
Okay.
Answer back thing.
So no, not yet.
No, I don't care to fight it. It's just like a half a plate. Doesn't make a difference. Oops. I wrote like all these little notes on it, and now I'm like, oh.
Yeah, right. That's what I thought.
That's why I didn't write on it, because I'm like,
But she let me see my.
Oh, I just got your message.
oh, it just came through. You're kidding me.
No, but it's funny. It's still not here though.
That's weird.
But I just saw it. Said I'm parked out. No, that's weird. Something sad. Well, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I can't believe I got this right here and then I missed it on the regular.
Okay, so I'm waiting to hear back from her.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Pardon us for one second.
Yeah, no, take a break. Take a break. Let's see, can I pause? Pause. The Anatomy Arcade. Huh? Let me scribble that down. No Selena, no. If I don't hear back from her, I'm going to have to collect them until I hear back. I don't want to take any chances because you know she'll be so unpleased. I'll put it that way. Okay, let's see. Forced inspiration.
Shave it all.
Come on.
This is not a good position for me. I just paid the guy to do it. I wish my mom likes talking to Celia. I don't understand it. I think she likes it. And I'm like, what? You hook up at that popcorn Celia and be like, what?
27.
I hate it so much.
We'll have this house.
Like, I went into my boyfriend's apartment.
Our house had multiple walls too.
Well, I met a person, they painted it.
Expiration.
Or like painted the dark color. It goes black and brown. And you put it in your life. Well, you couldn't even tell. But it was So then the bad part is when you start that.
Oh my God. The ceiling fan. Because it's not wrong, it's right, but okay, that's not right.
I literally vacuum my colors and vacuum I have a germ cover.
72. But she just Oh, that's the one. 2 is 8. I have a run
Okay, where's...
It's been consistent though. Like I'm getting some asthma.
What are we going over?
Muscles, arm muscles. What do I have up there? Oh, I just put that up there because it's kind of cool looking. Huh?
Last time we were reviewing the trunk muscles.
Yeah, right.
So we're doing the
Moving on to the arm, right. So, okay, let's go. Let's get started. I haven't heard back from her. So let's see if we work our way.
So then I change it. But I thought that one, like, it's fucking later. But I just change it.
They don't have the, where's the deltoid? Do you want to go over the shoulder muscles? That's a bit of a review. Right? Teres major, deltoids, pecs, the girdle. Or do you feel like you got that stuff down, you know, posterior, middle, and anterior deltoid? Do you have a sense of your... Huh? What's your... I didn't hear.
No.
You don't want to bother with that. You want to move on. Okay.
Well, you're only asking like 2 people.
Well, I'm asking, is there a consensus?
Let's do it.
I think it would be a good idea to do a quick review. Yeah, let's do it. All right, so... Let's upper body, okay. I wonder if they'll give us the rotator cuff in general.
Oh my gosh, just each time stopping, you're big.
No, it's insane. What is it? I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to do a quick... I'm using this, folks. So we're using muscle in motion, which is something fit, something, what's it called? The multi-fit. So as a means of quick review, we'll look at the sits muscles. The sits muscles first, right? Supraspinatus, what? Okay, so here's our action. Take a look at it. What's it doing? Shoulder abduction. Right? Right? We know our origin. Here's our scapula, right? Right? Supraspinatus fossa right here. There's our, right? The origin. And our insertion is, where do I click here? Doop, doop. Just tells us, okay. The superior surface of the greater tuberosity. Okay. Okay, so supraspinatus.
Rotator cuff. Scapular.
Well, it would be supraspinatus, SI. The I would be,
That's what he's going
right? Infraspinatus. Right? Okay. Inserts on the greater tubercle and shoulder joint, right, of the humerus. And its origin is the infraspinous fossa of the scapula, right? Okay, this is again just a quick review. Let's see it move, shall we? External rotation. Isn't this cool? This is so, it's a great, I think, it's a great way to teach them. Show you the movement as well as you see the muscles. If you disagree with me, tell the boss. I like it this way. No, actually, she suggested I use this, so. Okay, it assists in shoulder abduction. Okay. Okay, horizontal abduction. Teres minor helps out there. Okay. Okay, and SIT would be, what's the T? Major or minor? Oh, it tells you right there, rotator cuff. Okay, so let's look at the minor. Okay, we want the minor, right? Which is here, right? Minor is always above the major, right? Yeah. Not in music, but in anatomy. Okay? Both originate, right, from the... Can you make that move? Okay, yes, of course. Let's see. Teres major.
Is this on, where did you find this?
This is, the program is called Multi-Fit. I don't know what it costs. We have it on here. I might get it at home because it's great piece of software. And it's out there. It's online, yeah, Multi-Fit, but it's not free. You know, they've got samples, but okay. So what do we say? Shoulder medial rotation. You see that? You see how it moves? Okay, shoulder adduction, right, pulling toward. Shoulder extension, of course. Okay. And here the minor.
So the minor and the major.
Yeah, they work here, right? Minor,
so when the
major.
Sits, it would be major and minor?
No, it's the minor. It's only, I believe it's only the minor, yeah. Right? Teres minor, not major. Why minor? Okay, major. Yeah, because it does exactly. It's a
minor. So the major does.
Major is helping the lats. Okay.
Yeah. See the major.
All right. Well.
Yep. All right. Let's move at SI, right? T and now another S, right? And the final S is, where are we?
Just sitting there like in the dark, like.
The subscapularis is your anterior of the sits muscles, right? The shoulder stabilizer muscles, right? The rotator cuff muscles. Okay, what does it do? Medial rotation, right? Because it's pulling from anterior, right? So it's got medial rotation. Summit assist in shoulder abduction. Okay, originates on the subscapular fossa of the scapula, right? Inserts on the lesser, not the greater tuberosity of the humerus. Greater tuberosity is over here on the other side. Okay? With me? Okay, moving right along. What do I have next? The deltoids. Let's look at the deltoids. So I want you to get it. And then we'll start moving down the arm. Oops, sorry, deltoid. Okay, 1, 2, 3, right? You got, here's our entire muscle. This is anterior, middle, right? And posterior, let's look at one at a time. Is that nice? What does the anterior do? It's anterior, so it's going to flex the shoulder. It will also horizontally adduct the shoulder, right? It will internally rotate the shoulder. These are all the movements of the anterior deltoid. Thank you.
We got you. We got you.
You got me covered. Thank you.
Doc.
Yeah, well, I want you to answer the questions anyway.
I was saying I should bring in the x-rays of my shoulder.
Yeah, right. Well, we got to get, again, I will remember to request to get the skeleton up here. I've asked her a couple times. Okay, shoulder internal rotation, shoulder abduction, right? Okay, middle deltoid, what's the difference? Okay, shoulder abduction and assists in some shoulder flexion. Okay, so the posterior deltoid, what's that going to do?
Retract.
Right, it's going to add, let's see. Well, it's pulling, it's not a scapulus. Because it'll abduct the scapula, or rather the shoulder, right? Because here we're on the humerus, right, from the scapula, right? The origin is the, well, I'm not on anterior. Come back here, okay. Posterior, yeah, scapula and border of the spine of the scapula, right? I'm on posterior, so let's look at what it does. Horizontal abduction, shoulder extension makes sense because it's the posterior, right? Okay. And finally, it will externally rotate.
What's the yellow part of it? Why is it yellow?
It's showing us posterior fibers, right? Because this is what we're talking about, the posterior. So it's actually showing us the posterior fibers as opposed to the middle or the anterior fibers. Okay? Okay, what else? Moving right along. So that's the deltoid. Pec major. Let's look at the pec major.
Convergent.
There we go.
Maybe we'll be able to see.
Very cool.
Okay.
Well, they like converge, see?
Wait. Let's see. Where's that? Is there conversion here? It all converges. Okay, it inserts, right?
Lateral lip of, I can't.
Let's see, of the interturbicular sulcus, right, which is AKA the bicipital groove. Okay,
Here, crisscrosses.
right, and the crest of the greater tubercle. Okay, the origin, epineuritis of external obliques, costal cartilage of 6 or 7 ribs, right? Here's our costal cartilage, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right, all along here. And let's look at the movement. Right? Right, yeah. It's got a clavicular head, or clavicular, not a head. Yeah, it is a head. Yeah, it's clavicular head, a sternal head, costal head.
The pectoralis major attaches from the EOP down to T.
No. No, we're anterior here. You're thinking trapezius, that's okay. From trapezius is that big triangular, most superficial back muscle. And we can look at that again.
That's also posterior.
Yes, yeah, that was the first thing we said, that's posterior. We're, right? Okay. But the pec major, let's look at them individually. The clavicular head, right, allows for shoulder horizontal adduction, right? It's pulling in from here, right? I'll show it to you again.
God bless.
God bless you. Okay, shoulder medial rotation. Again, pulling from the clavicle. Okay. You can see the infraspinatus, or rather the subscapularis here. Okay, what did I say? And assists in shoulder flexion, right? It's pulling from the front, that's what it's going to do. Okay, that's the clavicular head. The sternocostal head, again, horizontal adduction. Shoulder medial rotation, same thing. Shoulder adduction. Not just horizontal, but basic adduction. Okay, and assist in shoulder extension. Okay. It's an assist. Anything else there? Oh, the abdominal.
Wait, are we looking at something? I thought this was a pec major.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I don't think of an abdominal head.
They're talking about both the heads though, aren't they? The clavicular and the sternocostal?
Yeah.
The clavicular head does something different.
Yeah, the clavicular head is here. See it in the yellow?
That's also responsible for...
I can't hear you. Shh, folks, one at a time.
I'm confused. I thought that it was also flexion. Responsible for some flexion.
Yeah, I would have the clavicular head. Yeah, here you go, right? Absolutely.
Yes.
But one of the heads assists here. The sternocostal head
That's extension.
is extension, assists in shoulder extension, right? Because it's pulling it, right? Not flexion, but extension. And the abdominal, what they call the abdominal head, shoulder horizontal adduction, shoulder medial rotation, that makes sense. Shoulder adduction. Assists in shoulder flexion, right? Okay. And assists in shoulder extension as well. Okay, let me see if this is Mama getting back to me. Yes, it is. Yes, please let them look at them, but we must keep them in their file. Okay, so you have to hand in your pass them forward, okay?
Hold on, girl. So the hydro or the everything? What do we pass? Everything? The midterm.
Yep.
What about the grade though?
Well, the hemi, yeah, both. The hemi and, yeah. Sorry. Look at them. You want to look at them between now and the end of the class. I don't care if you want to hold on to them for a little longer and do things with them.
Do very bad.
That's why, yeah, right. That's why I knew to check. They go in your file, your permanent record file. Oh, yeah, I know.
Can we get them back at the end? Like the third semester?
I don't think so.
No?
To study for the state.
To study for the state?
Thanks, Ashley. Would be nice, but I don't know, hon. Don't know. Okay. Where are we? Moving right along. Okay, so we got teres major, deltoids, pec major. You want to look at pec minor, or we'll be doing that soon enough? Let's just compare. Whoa. Come back here. Yeah, really. Come back. Upper body, come. Here, pec minor. Okay, so here's your minor pectoralis, right? Origin and insertion on that coracoid process. You see that bird's beak process on the scapula right there? Right, here's the acromion process. Are you seeing the cursor up there? Okay, so here's the coracoid process. We're going to come to the coracobrachialis. Okay, we'll get there. All right, so what does it do? It protracts. Whoops.
Which one are you on?
Pec minor. Just taking a quick look at this before I move on to the arm muscles. Okay. Right, scapular protraction. Okay. All right, now let's move on to the. We don't need to see the. You want to see serratus anterior? Yeah, why not? How could we not? Here we go. Yeah. I may have clicked it too hard. Ah, yes. Okay, so why is it called a serratus?
Nice, serrated.
Serrated. It's like the saw blades of a saw, right? Teeth of a saw. Okay. Origins, outer surface, and superior borders of the upper 8 or 9 ribs. Here they are. Right? Right? Maybe 8 on you, 9 on me. Who knows? Right? Well, and it's inserting on the, whoops, on the medial border of the scapula. Right? Let's see what it does. There's your upward rotation. Right? So we go like this. Abduction, right? Okay. And it's a scapula stabilizer muscle, that we know. Right? Yeah, but I have, I think I brought something in on my scapula stabilizers, which if we get to, I could, well, we'll see if we have time. Okay. Anything else here? Serratus anterior. Here, I'll show you again. There's your upward rotation, right? Right? So you're going like this. That's what they're... Okay, and abduction. Right, right. So if you've got a weak serratus anterior, you wind up with, what is this, what do they call it? Do you recall? Right? Your scapula flies out like a wing. It's a winged scapula. Okay, let's see. Questions? Answers? Moving on. While we're in the neighborhood, you want to look at the serratus posterior? Please. Why not? Absolutely. Okay, so here's posterior view, right? The upper.
Superior and inferior.
Right. Superior, right? Here. Inferior.
They're all patriotic looking.
Yeah. So let's see what happens. Superior elevates the ribs for what I would call forced inspiration, right? It's expanding the ribs, right? And inferior, bingo, is expiration. It's collapsing the ribs, right? So aids in expiration, aka exhalation, right? Anterior?
Yes.
Uh-huh. Okay, let's see. Did it say that in here or in the book?
The book that she's using.
Uh-oh. This is the serratus. Hang on, I'll get there.
Yeah, I didn't see it say anything about that.
Upward rotation. Yeah, it doesn't talk about it here. It's just, yeah. It's not. I don't think of it as a respiratory muscle. Yeah. You want to look at the rhomboids, levator, scapula, and trapezius, and all really quickly with this cool. Whatchamacallit? virtual reality. Okay, let's see. What did I say? Let's look at the... Here we go. Rhomboids. I'm just going down the list of her muscles. Okay, there's your entire muscle. Let's look at major, right? A lot more of it. They call these the Christmas tree muscles because of the angle, like the leaves or the boughs coming off a Christmas tree. Okay, the rhomboid. Now this is together, right? Major, scapular adduction, right? It's pulling it in. And scapular elevation, downward rotation. It's hard, it's kind of tricky movement, isn't it? Up and down, that's your rotation, I guess. And the minor.
Work on these muscles?
Yeah, we always work on these muscles.
How are we going to learn how to properly work on these muscles?
How to properly work on these muscles? Sure. Well, this is what I want, to a certain extent, yes. I'd like to put something like this on downstairs while you're working, right? But first, I thought I don't know if we'll have time to do that today.
No, for sure.
But tomorrow, hopefully, I don't know what her plans are.
I think she gave up on us.
Nah, not on me, she hasn't. Maybe she's given up on me, actually.
Now, which one was the one that did the elevation and depression? What do you mean? The one with the crutches.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's sure. Let's look at the lats while we're in the neighborhood. Hang on. Yep. Big muscle. It's coming. Okay. See that thoracolumnar aponeurosis, or what do they call it? Fascia there, right? You could call it aponeurosis or fascia. Okay, so what does it do? It's extending, right? It's pulling back the shoulder. It's adducting the shoulder. It's going to internally rotate the shoulder. Yeah, see it? Whoops. Let's see it. Hyperextend the spine and anteriorly. Can't read. Tilting the pelvis. Oh my goodness, yeah, right. Let's look at that again. So if we're doing pull-ups, lateral flexion of the spine. Okay, right? One side, not the other. Ouch, okay. I'll move on. Let's see. Oh, let's look at levator scapula. Sorry? You wanted to see more on the lats? Okay. Levator scapula. All right, let's take another. Yeah, right. Uh-huh. Let's take another look at that. Yeah, because it's look at the That's why we said, I think one of the test questions was, what is the base?
I know, that was one of those.
Yeah, the thoracolumnar aponeurosis, right, of the latissimus dorsi. Okay. All right. What did I say? What's next? Levator scapula. Oh, all I need to do is click on L. There we go. Okay. Okay, origin TPs of C1, 2, 3, and 4, right? Right? You see the insertions there? Or the origin, whatever you will. Yeah, the origins, the insertions on the scapula. The medial part, the upper portion of the superior medial border of the scapula. Okay, let's see what it does. Okay, elevates the scapula, right? Now, how does that also downward rotation? Okay. It's an elevator. Okay, it's going to move the head, the neck, unilaterally to what we call that lateral flexion. Okay.
Doing a shrug. Yeah, it is. It is a shrug.
Yeah, it's also a shrug here. Here's your shrug.
Yeah.
There's your shrug.
Yeah, right.
Right? When we go like this, we're shrugging. That's our levator scapula.
Or the Michael Jackson Thriller.
Yeah.
Or the Michael Jackson Thriller muscle. Is that what?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, however you want to remember it, that works for me. Okay, neck extension, of course, they're working bilaterally. Right? Right, because lateral flexion is unilateral. Okay, and neck rotation is also unilateral, same side, right? Extension is bilateral. Lateral flexion is unilateral, same side, obviously. Okay? Make sense? Moving right along. Oh, did I turn this thing back on? Speaking of, yes, I did. More wonders never cease. You want to see the trapezius if we're in the neighborhood? Why not? You know, yeah, it's a good idea. Let's review. Trapezius. There we go. Right? The most superficial, large triangular muscle. Okay. Here's the whole thing. From the EOP, right?
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
T12. Whatever it's called.
Right? Now, origin, whoops, what do they have? Occipital bone, right? AKA the EOP, external occipital protuberance, the nuchal ligament, and spinous process of C7. Right? Is that what that says? Yes. Okay.
Small. I can't see it.
Oh, I wonder if, yeah.
You're on your own, sister. Yeah.
Oh, wait, let's see. Does that help?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just got it. Okay, that helps. Okay, superior fibers will give you adduction. All together they work. They do adduction. Scapular elevation, right? They're pulling up there, your superior fiber. That's your shrug, right? So the shrug, the scalenes are shrugging, the trapezius helps you shrug.
Guys work their shrugs. They work the traps. Yeah, traps. Do shrugs. I was doing that one time in gym. I'm like,
Great.
so why do you want
Upward rotation. And of course, neck extension along with the levator scapula. Okay. Medial fibers will adduct the scapula. That's what they will do, right? The medial fibers are here, right? These are upper, middle, and the inferior and lower fibers will pull down, right? The upper will pull up. Lower is going to pull down, right? So they are antagonists. The upper fibers of the trapezius and the inferior, superior and inferior, they're actually antagonists to themselves, to itself. And that's where I am. Okay, let's see. Assistant scapular upward rotation, scapular adduction, and depression. Okay. Let's see. Whoop! Ah! Oh my God.
Oh, hello.
Sorry. I can't believe I have to do this all over again. Let's see. What's this? Nope. No, I don't want your PowerPoint. Sorry. Ah! Well. Hang on, because I probably have to log into it again.
That's a sign.
What's that?
That's a, you said that's a sign.
We've had enough.
It's a sign.
I'll let it update. I don't care.
I actually got a coloring book for the anatomy, and I was all stoked about it, but there's a lot involved.
Oh, we're back. Okay.
So much involved, and they have to sharpen on these pencils, and like.
Okay.
Do the things that I thought were rusty on. That would be good for
Okay, so we've done our sits muscles, so let's move on to the arm. Let's move down the arm.
Where did you buy it from the website?
I got it on Amazon.
For like $8?
I think I paid
So here's your beak. Here's your bird's beak, folks. Right? Right? It originates on the coracoid process of the scapula. No, wait, the arm muscles weren't on the test, right? Maybe the other parts of it might have been helpful.
Careful, because if she comes tomorrow, we're gonna
Why?
Well, she wasn't happy that she reviewed with you the night after I had already reviewed with you. So, if you have the opportunity, tell her you didn't really need that review. Mr. Fox did a fine job the night before.
Why was she upset?
I don't know.
You better not say.
Don't try and figure out.
Yeah. Mine is not the reason why. Mine is but to do and die. Okay, so here's our beak, right? The bird's beak. Coracoid process, right? There's the little muscle, and the insertion, whoops, is right on the middle of the humerus, right? So it's the brachial region, coracobrachialis, right? Remember that one? It's one of the. So what does it do? What could it do? It's going to flex the shoulder, ta-da, right? Okay, it's going to adduct the shoulder as well. And it will also horizontally, if I can get it to do this, horizontally adduct. Okay?
But it just attaches to the middle of the humerus. There's no,
Right. It's
nothing there. There's no process of any kind.
no. Well, what's it attaching to? Just the proximal third of the medial surface. There may be a groove or something, that it's going to insert in the medial surface of the humerus. So how can we? What we really want to do is figure out how to what's the term?
But even though it's called brachialis, it has nothing to do with the bicep.
No, but biceps. What does biceps mean?
It means
Two. Okay, this is the brachial region, so that's why it's biceps brachialis. This is coracobrachialis, right? The brachial plexus is up here.
It gets its name mainly because of the coracoid process of the scapula.
Yeah, that's where I get it from. But the connection is coracoid brachial, and there's your name. Okay. But yeah, go ahead. No, I understand what you're saying. Why is it that? Again, origin insertion. There's your name, right? SCM. We don't call this the CB. It's coracobrachialis. Okay. Moving. Yeah, we may get this done. Okay, I should slow down. Well, no, we've got. Oh my God, we have the forearm to go. Forget about it. Okay, triceps. Or how about the biceps first? Okay.
Why does it say bicep, like head?
Because that's what it is. It's two heads.
Two heads, okay.
Sep, not simply meaning, cephalic, as in cranial, but bicep, tricep refers to literal muscle heads, not the cranial head. Okay. So.
If I don't, escort me out of here.
No, I wouldn't escort you on that one. That's. There are a few things. Okay. Short, and of course we have two heads. One head is hard enough, as far as I'm concerned. But okay.
Is that also attached to this bird's beak?
Sorry.
Short head?
Here's our short head, right?
That's the coracoid process.
Oh yeah. They both, right? Because the long head is also. That goes to the glenoid. To the whatchamacallit? Tubercle, right. Supraglenoid tubercle, right? Just above, which is to say it's a little piece above the of the glenoid fossa. Because here's the process, here's the tubercle. They don't show, let's see if they show it a little bit better here. Let's see what it does. Short head is going to flex the elbow in supination, right? Can't do it. It's going to supinate the forearm because it's crossing two. I shouldn't tell you this. How many joints is it crossing? Right? So it's crossing the shoulder and the elbow. So lots going on there. So it's not simply a the long head, for example, elbow flexor, forearm supinator, shoulder flexor, right? It does assist in some shoulder flexion and shoulder abduction. The short head, on the other hand, let's see, elbow flexion, forearm supination, assists in shoulder flexion. It's an assistant, and adduction.
So the short head turns it.
Yes, the short head is what's turning it. Exactly. That's where.
Extends it in,
Yeah, the long head is flexing, right? Elbow flexion, in supination, right? It would not. It's not flexing the elbow in pronation. It's a forearm. It is a supinator, right? Whoops, this is a long head. Did I? It was on my there. Short head is a supinator, right? And there is a supinator muscle in addition. So this also is. There are actually two supinator muscles. One is the short head of the biceps brachii. That's a little tricky. That could be a question that you encounter, right? How many supinator muscles are there? Well, there's the supinator plus there's the short head of the biceps brachii. Okay. You want to see the emotions again, or are we good? Okay, short head is
flexion of the humerus, and the long head would be flexion of the elbow and the supination of the forearm.
Let's see. Elbow flexion is long head.
Yes.
Forearm supination. Yeah, they're both supinators. So the biceps brachii, both heads are supinators.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Yep. You're right. Yep. The difference in terms of the heads is one is originating at the supraglenoid tubercle, and the other one at the coracoid process. Their insertion is, let's see, they're both inserting on the radial the tuberosity of the radius and the bicipital aponeurosis. Okay.
and there's a supinator muscle?
There is, which we will get to. Yeah, there are two pronator muscles, and there's one supinator muscle. However, one could argue there are two supinator muscles because the biceps brachii assists in supination. It's a supinator. It doesn't simply assist, it is a supinator. Okay, so let's see. I want to look at the anconeus because that's on our list. Is the little muscle. It's an elbow extensor. Yeah, this is good, and it really does help you see what's happening there. Let's see. We back up. Can I back up here? How do I back up? Okay, we know it's originating in the lateral epicondyle of the humerus, and it's inserting on the ulnar. Lateral surface of the olecranon. If it's an olecranon on the ulnar, what olecranon is it? It says the insertion is the lateral surface of the olecranon. Right? This insertion here. So that would be the olecranon process, not fossa. Here's the fossa, and here's the process that's sitting into this. And here they're saying it originates in the lateral epicondyle of the humerus. It's inserting on the, they're saying the lateral side of the olecranon and shaft of the ulna. I would have called that the olecranon process and shaft of the ulna, right? But I guess if you say olecranon in reference to the ulna, you know it's that the process.
And the book I'm looking at says that cranial process in the upper posterior surface of the ulna.
The upper posterior
Surface of the ulna.
Oh, right, and you're right. You're absolutely right, because we are anterior here. So it's the I don't know. I would yeah, it's your elbow. It's a minor muscle, folks, but you know. Okay.
You know, when people get like tennis elbow and stuff, it's like right in there.
Yeah, tennis elbow. There's tennis elbow and there's golfer's elbow. One is there. Those are your epicondyle issues.
One's on the inside, one's on the outside.
Right. So one is your lateral, one is your medial epicondyle, and to be honest, I don't remember which is which.
She just told me. I think it's lateral. Yes.
Lateral is golfing, right? And medial is tennis, probably because of the backhand.
No, lateral is tennis.
Lateral is tennis. Okay, and medial is golf. Okay. I don't know. I don't play either sport, so all right, let's see what it does. Anyhow, it's an elbow extensor. Okay.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, that
So the lateral would be golf.
yeah
I mean, the lateral
would be tennis and medial would be golf. Yeah.
It will be golf.
And here's your lateral epicondyle. Yep. Okay. All right, let's see what else. Next. Let's stay. This is our anconeus. Well, biceps. Let's look at the supinator. There it is. Okay. One muscle. Right? It's up here. What's happening when you supinate? What's moving on what? What's going on? Here's our supination. Right? Remember sup, right? So we're going right, what's rotating on what?
The radius is rotating on the humerus?
No. On the
That would hurt.
Well, because the humerus is they're attached to each other.
No, you're thinking of not the humerus, but the radius. The radius is rotating here and down below on the ulnar. Right? These are actually little. In a way, you could argue that they're pivot joints here between the proximal and the distal radial ulnar joints. But as I said, there's one supinator, and that's what it does. It's taking us from here to there. Sorry?
So it attaches to the ulnar supinator fossa and...
Yeah, right. Crest of the radial, collateral, and annular ligaments. Oh, so maybe that's something going. So the radius is, in a sense, is rotating on the ulnar. Okay. Moving right along. Okay. Did we do the brachialis?
No.
Nope.
We did the biceps.
Yeah, biceps brachii, I know we did. Okay. So the brachialis is, the origin is bottom half, the distal half of the anterior surface of the humerus. Okay. God bless. And the insertion is, right? Tuberosity and the coronoid process of the ulnar. So what does it do? It's an elbow flexor. That's all. If it's anterior like that, that's what it's going to be doing. Okay. Okay. All right. Now, brachioradialis. Whoop, out, come back here. Okay. Brachioradialis, right? Originates on the supracondylar ridge of the humerus. Inserts on the radius. The lateral surface of the distal end, right? There. There. Come back here. Okay. So what's it going to do? Flex the elbow. Okay.
Ow.
And it's a pronation, it assists in pronation. The funny bone is the, no, pronation. Does it say supination in your book? Really?
It says action is halfway between supination and pronation, so it kind of is a little both.
Whose book is that?
Carva.
Oh, that book. Okay. That's not, no, that's all right. And the fact is, you're going to read different things in different texts, different books. Yeah, you. No, but there are lots of good programs to study with to prepare for, and I'm pretty sure they will set us up with that. I hope so. If they don't, then.
Why are we here?
Yeah, exactly. No, you. Well, I mean, I know not all schools do. The school that I taught at before has a program where they set you up, and this they have to. Although not all schools do. I don't know why not, but they don't. It's too much information, right?
Basically, it's the elbow.
Yeah, right. It's an elbow flexor. Yeah, maybe it assists in some pronation a little bit. Not, yeah, it doesn't go all the way. It's halfway between. You could see the movement. It doesn't, it gets you halfway there. Not all the way. To get all the way there, you need the pronators. So let's look at the pronators. Pronator quadratus. The distal end. So here's your pronation, forearm pronation, complete pronation, where the radius is pronating, is revolving, is pivoting on the ulnar. Okay, and whoops, come back here. Pronator teres at the upper end of, now here you're coming from the humerus, the radius and the ulnar. So let's look at it, all right? Medial epicondyle of the humerus and the coronoid process of the ulnar, right? Those are, so this has got two heads, right? Origin, origin. Okay, insertion is the radius, so this, the other one was down here. Remember pronator quadratus?
Yep.
Why do they call it quadratus? Let's see. Well, let's look at the movement here first. Pronation, and it assists in some elbow flexion. It's anterior. It's going to do some flexing there. Look at the. So the pronator, just to look again at the quadratus, is down just at the distal end, right? And all it can do is pronate the forearm as I see it. Okay? Next. I think I covered down the arm, right? But not the forearm. Did I miss anything from this list on the arm? We got the coracobrachialis, tricep. Oh, we did the triceps. Goodness gracious.
We didn't do any of the extensions.
No, we will. That's forearm. Those are all forearm. And the list is a mile long, I know. And then you get into the hands. And,
Forearm is like the worst.
well, yeah, the forearm. Well, you got your flexors, your extensors, there's a lot going on there. That's why I'd almost say let's do that tomorrow, but we'll get a start on it today. What did I say? I wanted to include the triceps, right? That we didn't cover, I don't believe. So let's look at the whole thing. I don't know, you don't really see three heads here, do you? Okay, here's your long head, right? Right? Axillary border of the scapula, right? The infraglenoid tubercle, okay. Insertion on the olecranon of the ulnar. The lateral head, here you go. Oh, so the medial head is, we don't really see it. It's underneath these. Okay, lateral head, shaft of the humerus, insertion on the olecranon, again, of the ulnar. Medial head, same insertion, and it's the shaft of the humerus. So the other heads are the lateral and the long head. The long head goes to the scapula. Whoops, I'm sorry. The scapula, right. Short head, or rather the lateral head, and the medial head. Let's make them do things, shall we? Let's see if I can make this happen this way. Okay, elbow extension, right? If they're posterior muscles, these are your elbow extensors, right? This is your...
So they're posterior, so they're extensions.
Right, it's going to extend the elbow.
And they're anterior,
It's going to assist in shoulder extension. It can't be flexing, okay? The lateral head is an elbow extensor. And what does it say? The medial head is an elbow extensor. I mean, the muscle is, the entire muscle is an elbow extensor. The only difference in terms, the long head assists in shoulder extension, not just, right? So it's moving. Why does it assist in shoulder extension? Anybody? Because the origin here on the scapula, right? Not on the humerus, right? So it's crossing, one could argue it's crossing to, it's not crossing the shoulder joint, but it's crossing here as well as, from the scapula to the olecranon. So it's going to assist in that shoulder extension. But taken all together, the muscles and elbow extensor, which is to say, a forearm is extending the forearm at the elbow. Okay, there's anything else on the triceps? Did we get everything on the upper arm? Antonius, supinator, brachialis, brachioradialis, pronators. Yep. Okay. Are we ready for the... Are you all faded, finished? We got it. Yeah, I know. I don't blame you, but I'm not going to take us downstairs at this point in time. Well, let's just get a start on the forearm muscles. We'll take it slowly, and then this is where we'll pick up tomorrow. Okay? Sounds good? Sounds good to me. Okay. So let's look at our flexors. Okay, if we're dealing with flexor anything, then where are the muscles found on what part of the forearm? Anterior or posterior? Anterior. Anything that flexes is anterior, right? We're there? Yes, thank you. On the upper body. The lower body, it's just the opposite. You got me, girl. Got me. Okay.
No, I said, it depends on upper or lower.
Right, right. The lower extremities are the opposite, right? If this were the upper extremities, right, this would be your elbow, right? Knee would be your elbow, but it's just...
The anterior flexes.
Right.
Lower extremities.
The posterior flexes, right. Sorry? Ashley, what'd you say?
I said you said that last week when you were doing your
Right,
dance.
right. We repeat ourselves in this business, yes. Eventually it sinks in. We have to repeat ourselves. Okay, so the entire muscle. Right, this is our flexor. What are we doing? Carpi radialis, is that what we're on? No, they got all the muscles. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's go with, well, doesn't matter what order you want. Do you care about the order here, or you want to go with the order on, doesn't matter, does it? Flexor digitorum profundus. Okay, origin, oops, sorry. Upper third of the anterior and medial aspect of the ulnar and the interosseous membrane. That's, what is the interosseous membrane? Well, look at between osseous, the bones. So it's that membrane, in this case, between the radius and the ulnar, right? It's not just air. It's not open space. There's a membrane there, and that is it could be an origin, it could be an insertion. The insertion is by 4 tendons, of course, at the basis of the distal phalanges, because this is a digitorum. We know it's referring to the fingers, right? The digits. Now that's our profundus. The superficialis, right? Profundus is moving the distal. Superficialis?
No, superfragilistic.
Yes, yeah. Okay. So here we're inserting on, this is the superficial, we're inserting on the 4 tendons into the side, sides of the middle phalanx of the 4 medial fingers. This is the digitorum, flexor digitorum superficialis, right? The difference being where the insertion is. The profundus is at the base of the distal phalanges. You see the difference? The superficial is not as far. It's the middle phalanges.
So the profundus is more distal?
Yes. Which means, does that make it more profound?
To the outside.
Yeah, it's the end, right? It's the distal of the phalanges. Here, the superficial, superficial generally refers to the depth.
But it doesn't here?
It does, I believe it does. So the deeper,
It also, in this case, I think it also talks about, it also describes it as being less distal.
Right, exactly. In this case, it's less distal, but it's also the profundus is a deeper muscle. I mean, these are all tendons. The muscle belly is up here. Everything becomes tendinous, right? So.
Otherwise, we have some fat hands.
Yeah, and I mean, it's certainly easy enough to see them, right? All you've got to do is, well, it's easier to see the extensors. A lot easier to see the extensors. You're not going to see the flexors as well. On the palmar side, they're much deeper.
It's actually the tendon of the muscle.
Yeah, these are the tendons, right? So we got our muscle, whoops, right? Let's see, the whole thing. What do we have? 5 pieces here, right? Digitorum profundus, superficialis. We can move on to the flexors of the wrist, right? So that's, whoops, right? Flexor carpi radialis.
Wrist to the radial bone.
Right? Again, where am I? Flexor carpi radialis. Whoops, no. Yeah, carpa radialis. There we are. Okay. Palmaris longus. What's happening here? The flexor retinaculum and the palmar aponeurosis. Again, these are all flexors of the palm. Right? I'll get these things to work. I should be doing that, right? Whoops! I wanted to do the palm. Sorry. There's your wrist flexion, right?
And that's the palmaris.
That's palmaris. Yeah, that's number 4. Okay. And carpi ulnaris would also. It's an assist in wrist flexion. And since it's ulnaris, it's adduction, right? Or one could argue, what's another term for wrist adduction?
Rotation?
No, it's not rotation. Wrist doesn't rotate. Radial. No, well, adduction would be medial deviation. Right? Deviation, right? They're calling it adduction here. Oh, wait, I didn't see. Or ulnar. Well, you could call it ulnar, or well, in this case, the ulnar deviation, right? Adduction. You're bringing it to the center, toward the center of the body. Medial, right? Lateral would be radial. Ulnar is medial. Remember, in your anatomic position. So lateral is radial deviation. It's just another term for the same darn thing. Let's see.
Show me the movement.
Yeah, I'm going to go through the movement on all of these. This is why we're really taking I'm not in a hurry. We'll get started again on these. I think the forearms are the ones to really take our time with, starting now and tomorrow. All right, so let's go through the movements of them all. Okay, flexor digitorum profundus, wrist adduction. Oh wait, I clicked on here. There.
So that's bringing the digits.
Okay, this is flexing. We got a late start. It's up to you. You don't have to stay. I don't. Nobody's chained to chairs other than even I'm not. I know it's a lot to know and to remember, but that's why I'm using this as opposed to standing up here and just drawing origin, insertion, and action on the board, which is the old-fashioned way I used to teach it. Yeah, I think, having the animation makes a difference. Okay, so flex is the digital phalanx of the 4 medial fingers. You see where the attachments are? So that's the profundus. As I see it, it's deeper. Okay, the superficialis flexes the middle. Oops.
one is that are we looking at right now?
Flexor digitorum superficialis.
Superficiality.
Yep. Flexes the middle and proximal flanges of the four middle fingers. Assists in wrist flexion. Okay. Flexor digitorum profundus flexes the distal flanges and assists. They're both. Ask the anatomists.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so let's see. Flexor carpi radialis. We can see flexes the. Whoops, come back here.
Okay, that moves the wrist.
Yeah, wrist flexion and radial deviation, right? Because if it's a flexor carpi, we know it's wrist, it's flexing, and radialis tells us it's radial, right? Because it's the insertion is.
And then the flexor carpi ulnaris is the one that's the ulnar deviation.
Exactly. Let's look at that. Yep. See? It's going to, or AKA medial deviation, right? But we do say, or we'd say medial. Yeah, we say ulnar and radial more than anything else. Okay, and if this is in some wrist flexion, that we know. Okay. You want to go over these again, or you want to go home, right? It gets.
But this is a great.
It's a wonderful program. This is why what she suggested I use this tonight, and I'm glad that I. Sorry?
Is this a website?
Yeah, but you have to pay.
Yeah, but you have to pay for it. Now, what we should find out is, can we get a group rate?
There is a free trial of that.
Yeah, there's a free trial, but it's not this extensive. I got it.
Is it like it's like you can use this for a little while and then you're going to buy it?
Yeah, and they don't give you as many places, I think, as you can use it. I don't know. I got it myself. I haven't had a chance to play with it. But as far as I'm concerned, it's just well worth having stuff like this to study from. Especially with all of these, the forearm muscles. Even when we get down to the lower extremities, it'll really make a difference. There's a lot of free programs out there too. Maybe not, that.
The problem with some of this, some of these muscles are
Thank you. Yeah, sorry, but I have to have it back. Yeah.
you can't get to them when you're massaging.
No, of course not. Right.
So like
Right.
we should.
Right. I mean, these are deep. You're not getting into these individual muscles on the palmar side. On the extensor side, of course, we do.
But that would lessen the amount of muscles to have to learn about.
Yeah, I don't go into the intrinsic hand muscles. I don't know. Do we? Well, we'll have to see whether or not does she include the intrinsic hand muscles.
Although I guess it's always better to learn more of them than just know them.
Yeah.
What do we have planned for tomorrow?
Sorry, what do we have to plan for? More of the same, and then we'll start here. I'll work through the forearm muscles, and then we'll go downstairs. We'll put this on downstairs and do it downstairs. Work on one another. That's what I want you to do. Have you work. I'll have the animation, and you'll see. You'll take turns palpating, and we don't have to get undressed to do all this stuff on the arms. You can palpate yourself, and as well as I want people to palpate others to get a sense. All right, what's happening here? Can I feel that? What's the difference? What do I see moving? Okay? This is the way to teach it, I think.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm using, it knows more than I do. I don't remember all, I know flexors and extensors and, Yeah, right. So this is a good tool. All right, go away. Go home.
He said go away.
Last person that said go away.
But come back tomorrow, please. I love you all. I really do. And if you have the opportunity, tell Coach you think we're doing okay in here.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night. See you tomorrow, 6 o'clock, rain or shine. Thank you. Tell the boss that you like what's happening in here, because she has her doubts.
I sent it to you.
Whatever, you know, I can use all the support I can get. Everybody gave this back? Sorry?
Yes, I gave her.
Thank you.
I just
Sure.
I just got the keys to my house today, so I was moving, so that's
okay.
I must have been late.
Oh, sure. Well, congratulations on your move.
Thank you. Tomorrow I won't be able to make it because we're trying to adjust everything. We were trying to get it on
Okay.
Saturday.
All right.
but
So focus
yeah.
on forearm muscle. Get the programs like this. Use them. Right?
I was
The free
using
ones.
that
You don't have to
website,
spend the
yes.
money. Yeah.
Anatomy
you know?
Arcade is pretty good.
Yeah, Anatomy Arcade sounds good. Take advantage of the internet because it's such a great. It's the resource that goes well beyond. Unless you're Sandra Stone, which she knows every single muscle in the body and then some. I rely on stuff like this.
She would be in the School of Medicine.